tonight on News Center at 11.
Joe was a true hero.
Those closest to Captain Joel Barnes remember the hero he was 1 week after his death. The mayor of Lewiston resigns in the wake of controversies involving an affair and racist texts. And
we want people to bleed for the throne.
Your blood is the key to the Game of Thrones season premiere. News Center Maine at 11 starts now. Good evening, I'm Chris Costa. We're in for a split weekend in the weather department. Jessica Conley joins us with a tale of two forecasts. Hey, Jess.
Hey, Chris.
Two Ellsworth teenagers are under arrest, charged with conspiracy to commit murder, stemming from a group chat on social media. In a letter to parents, the Ellsworth superintendent of schools says the teens were charged after police investigated threats of violence in that group chat. Details of those threats were not made public. The superintendent says, at no time were our student body, staff members, or our facilities in danger, and there are no known threats against our student body, staff members, or our facilities. Both teenagers were taken to the Charleston Correctional Facility. Racist texts, leaked emails, an affair, and criminal allegations. That's the host of controversies that led Lewiston Mayor Shane Bouchard to resign today. The scandal broke when the woman who claims to be his mistress revealed how she snuck him emails from his competitor's mayoral campaign in 2017. News Center's Vivian Lee explains this still developing story, and we should warn you, to fully explain what happened, we will tell you specifically what was in that text, which many people may find objectionable. Lewiston police did not say specifically what allegations they're investigating. During the news conference, Bouchard blamed the media for reporting the allegations, but he says if any criminal charges come out of this, he will be cleared. Ben Chin reached out to News Center Maine late this afternoon. He plans to make a statement about the allegations tomorrow in Lewiston. A skier is dead tonight after a collision on Cannon Mountain in New Hampshire. Investigators say the second person involved in the incident was taken to the hospital with several injuries. There's no update on that person's condition. Several agencies are investigating the incident. The pictures we've been showing you of Cannon Mountain were posted to the Cannon's Flickr account. A person sleeping inside a dumpster was accidentally dumped into a garbage truck this morning in Bangor. Officials say the person was in the dumpster at the Nursing and Rehabilitation Center on Texas Avenue. Staff at the nursing home said they could hear someone screaming for help. The driver apparently had no idea a person was in the back. Bangor fire crews were able to get that person out without any major injuries. Maine's Health and Human Services Commissioner says the state is making progress at fixing the child welfare system, but also says there is more to be done. Legislators have been examining the system for nearly a year, since two young girls died from abuse in their homes despite the fact they were already involved with the DHHS system. The Government Oversight Committee heard from the commissioner this morning. She says DHHS has hired 39 more staff for the Child and Family Services Division, with several more hires still to come. The department has also increased payments to foster families, on top of trying to recruit more foster families.
We have been trying to streamline our licensing process to make sure that that happens faster. We're also trying to get some of the families already in the foster care system to help do kind of a short-term stopgap for those children in these places that are interim before we get the child into a placement. So it is obviously high on our priority list to try to figure out what we do about this.
Committee members say they plan to keep the pressure on DHHS to make sure the department makes other needed changes. The state is getting closer to a final plan to reopen a prison facility in Washington County, but the exact location has still not been decided. The LePage administration shut down the Down East Correctional Facility last year. The Mills administration plans to reopen it in a different form. Corrections Commissioner Randy Liberty says it will be a pre-release facility with 50 inmates and 15 staff. But the administration has not decided whether to renovate the old Down East Correctional Facility in Machiasport or find another location. Liberty says architects have estimated renovations to the old buildings would cost between $12 and $17 million. The commissioner says a decision on a location should come in the next few weeks, and the plan is to have inmates living there by September. The Skowhegan community is reacting to the school board's decision to retire the controversial Indian mascot. Many people are asking what will replace all of the signs around the school with Native American imagery. There's no indication as to when a new mascot will be chosen. One school board member hopes students will get to decide.
Those students can participate, you know, in a lot of the physical properties up there, the signs, you know, some of the murals and stuff inside the school. This is I think moving forward, we need to set up something structured that allows every student in that school, you know, a chance to kind of participate in.
Students say they're unsure when exactly the mascot will change. Still ahead, eating local, really, really local during this restaurant week. But first,
I'm truly gonna miss Joe.
remembering the firefighter killed in the line of duty ahead of his funeral this weekend. On Sunday, firefighters from all over Maine, New England, and beyond will gather in Portland to pay tribute and say goodbye to Captain Joel Barnes. Barnes died fighting a fire in Berwick last week. Tonight, for the first time, we're hearing from those closest to the fallen firefighter. News Center Maine's Zach Blanchard has this story. Captain Barnes will be laid to rest on Sunday after 2 services. The first will be a private one with family and close friends at the funeral home in Old Orchard Beach. At 9:45, a more public display honoring the fallen firefighter will begin. A hearse will bring Barnes' body through Old Orchard Beach to the Maine Turnpike. The procession will then head north and exit near the Maine Mall, making its way to Main Street in South Portland. It will stop at the city's main fire station, where Barnes' casket will be transferred to a fire truck. Then the final leg of the journey will be across the Casco Bay Bridge, up High Street, and onto Spring Street. It will stop at the Cross Insurance Arena, where thousands of people are expected for a memorial service for Captain Joel Barnes. News Center Maine will bring you live coverage of the farewell to Captain Barnes. It all starts on our website and Facebook page at 9:45 and will be on the air at 10 a.m. right after Meet the Press. In other news, our state does not have an NHL team, so why was Lord Stanley in Maine? Find out next. We're a little over halfway through Maine Restaurant Week. Cameron O'Brien has been taking it head on as a foodie with food allergies. She's visited a restaurant every day, checking out their allergy-friendly offerings. And tonight, she takes us to Vinland in Portland. Restaurant Week ends on March 12, and you can see the other stories Cameron's done so far on our website and mobile app. All right, we get a little break from the cold and at least some sunshine on Saturday, but Sunday it's right back to winter.
I know, back to snow and then some rain. It's a whole bunch of yuck.
You love snow.
I know.
I like snow.
I don't like the snow with the rain on top of it. Then it just gets like that slushy mess thing, though.
Nobody likes that.
Not into that. All right, so tomorrow looks great, though. On Friday, it's almost spring.
So I was looking, you say it's almost spring. The people up in northern Maine are going to have at you for this one. So I was looking at this tweet from the National Weather Service in Caribou, and they said they've had at least an inch of snow on the ground since November 10th. It's 119 days.
Yeah.
And in order to break a record, they would need to go for 163 days. So that means April 22nd, they need to have an inch of snow on the ground consistently.
I bet they can do it. Their snow depth, I think, is still like over 40 inches in most spots. So they've had tons.
It'll take a while to melt, is what you're saying.
Yeah, I think so. Sorry, guys.
All right. Thanks, Jess.
Thanks.
The Bowdoin women's basketball team is headed to the Elite Eight. They beat SUNY New Paltz tonight at home, 81-50. Hey, there are three Mainers on this squad. Senior Hannah Graham from Presque Isle, junior Maddie Hassan from South Portland, nailing the three right there, and Moira Tran from Cumberland. They all helped out on both ends of the floor. Bowdoin plays Ithaca tomorrow night at 7 o'clock in Brunswick. There's more to come on News Center Maine at 11, including the very different ways the world celebrated International Women's Day. Today, President Donald Trump paid his respects to the 23 people killed when a powerful tornado ripped through a town in Alabama. The president visited the rural area devastated by that tornado today. Mr. Trump and the First Lady observed a moment of silence before white wooden crosses that stood in remembrance of each victim. Today, a grand jury indicted former Empire actor Jussie Smollett on 16 felony counts. Police in Chicago say Smollett falsely reported he was the victim of a racist, homophobic attack last month. Smollett has denied that he staged the attack. There's still about 33 minutes left in International Women's Day, and today people around the globe celebrated the achievements of women. This year's International Women's Day theme was Balance for Better, which is a call to action for speeding up gender balance in several areas, such as business, politics, and wealth. Women's Day rallies happened around the world. In the Philippines, protesters rallied near the presidential palace calling for more respect for women. And in India, women marched to highlight domestic violence, sexual attacks, and discrimination in jobs.
Today we have come here to assert ourselves, assert that women will keep fighting till we get what we deserve.
In Italy, tourists and commuters were forced to pack themselves onto the few buses operating in Rome due to a national strike that affected the transport sector as well as public health, education, and waste collection services. The strike was called by various trade unions to mark International Women's Day to protest against violence against women, gender discrimination, and unequal pay for men and women. And in Russia, President Putin delivered his traditional congratulatory speech to women. All right, Game of Thrones fans, you have a chance to win a trip to see the world premiere of the final season, but you'll have to shed some blood to do it. We'll explain. HBO and the American Red Cross have hooked up for a unique blood drive promotion, and it appeals to all of you Game of Thrones fans. Jennifer Franciotti explains. So Jess just kind of turned away at the sight of the needle in the arm, so needless to say, she's not a Game of Thrones fan, but a good day to watch movies on Sunday.
Yeah, it's going to be kind of messy on Sunday. Some snow early, then it'll change over to rain by Sunday afternoon, but beautiful tomorrow. We'll end on that.
Excellent. Thanks so much for watching News Center Maine at 11, everybody. Have a good night.